Hello and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to be talking about how you can understand the different types of closures, right? And whether which closure captures values or don't capture value. And I'm going to explain this to you in a nice simple manner, right, with examples. So let's start off with a global function, okay? And we're just going to call it outer, all right? And now we're going to have another function, and we're going to call it nested functions. So nested function, so outer function there, and then we're going to name a one in here saying nested function. All right. So we have a global function. This is a global function because it is in the main file and it's not within inside of a class or a struct or anything like that. It's not being nested, so it's defined at the absolute top level. Now we can define variables within inside of here is then of let's say like integer, and this is then a local variable for the scope of this one outer function. Okay, we've been over this already. Now if we want to have a variable that is let's say global var is equal to 1. If we want this one variable to be accessible within inside of outer function, nested function, etc., and everywhere else in the application, then we put it at the same level as the global functions. Okay, so this has been defined at the same level the whole time. It's not within inside of it. They're at the same level, at the application or the main level, the top level. Okay, so this is not capturing. The global functions can use this global variable here, and we could say that local var is equal to global var. Now, a global function can use all of the variables or the constants defined at the same level inside of its function body. It's the code block, but it's not capturing it. Okay, it's just using things at the same level. So this is a thing to not confuse capturing and just the usage, because they are at the same level. Okay, so this is a global function, this is a global constant, and outer is allowed to use the global var. It doesn't need a reference to it, it doesn't hold a reference to it, because it can just use the global var directly because it's at a global level. Now if we go to outer function, for example, and we say then inner var is equal to here, and this could then be global var. Right, let's just make this set to this first of all. Inner var is equal to global var. Now this inner var is it's defined within inside of this one context, this one code block here. So no one outside of the outer function can access this one inner var. Now, however, the outer function is a global function still, so it can access global var. This is not capturing, all right? And nested function can capture now the inner var, because it's the content within inside of this one function is now capturing the inner var, because as soon as this one function has been finished and called, this one nested function may still need access to this inner var because it wasn't stored at a global level. So all the global constants and variables and all the global functions, they can talk to each other as it is. However, this outer function, this is a global function, but this nested function is not a global function. So if we start using nested var here and we say inner var, right? I'm going to repeat myself again. This outer function is a global function, and so the inner var is a local variable for outer function. And within inside of nested function, this is nested within inside of it, it can access this inner var, and it can also access the global var because it is from the global variables here, right? But it's global. However, this inner var is not global, and so it needs, this nested function needs a reference to this one inner var because it isn't global. But that's the whole point of it. It's not global, so it needs to have some form of reference to keep this one variable alive. Okay. And there is something called automatic reference counting. So we're just going to say automatic reference counting, all right? Where if this variable has 0 references to it anymore, it gets disposed of. But this nested var is keeping a reference to it. But in actual fact, this nested var is making a copy of it because it's a let. So we're not actually modifying it. We are making a copy of it. If we then said inner var plus equal 1, or then we are incrementing it here, and now we're setting it to here. So we're holding a reference to it inside of it. But if we just remove this, we would just be taking a copy of it. But the inner var, it depends whether the inner var gets changed or not. All right. So if there was another function changing this one variable, then this would be something different. Okay, because it needs to have the updated copy all the time. So this is understanding the types of closures. First of all, we have the global functions are closures that have a name and don't capture any values, which is what we just said. Okay, nested functions are closures that have a name and can capture values from their enclosing function. So here's a nested function. It does have a name and it can capture values from their enclosing function. This is their enclosing function here, and this is a value, right, that they're capturing inside of here. All right. Now, closure expressions are unnamed closures written in a lightweight syntax that can capture values from their surrounding context. All right. So a closure here is a lightweight expression. Let's just say, let's just say here, a lightweight expression, unnamed, written in a lightweight syntax, which is this, that can capture values from their surrounding context. Now, in this scenario, we need to return a value, so we'll just return 2. We're not capturing anything right now. However, if we was to put this inside of here, for example, right, and we were going to then return the inner var, and maybe then do inner var plus equal 2 here, and then return it. This closure is a closure, right? A closure expressions is a function type, right? And that has been defined within inside of the nested function. So it's not a global thing. It is accessing a local variable within inside of its surrounding context. It could also access the inner var. And so it needs access to this all the time. So this is the different types of closures. Now, closures do get a little bit more complicated, but please forgive me. I am trying to keep this as simple as possible, and I'm trying not to go too in depth. I'm trying to show you through examples, through demonstration, and I'm trying to minimize the explanation as much as possible. I'm trying to demonstrate it to give you an understanding. It's really important that you test this yourself, okay? And you try and move these different things around and try and debug to see which variables are dead, when they're dead, and when they can access them, when you can. And this you've seen in the previous video of capturing values, and you've seen in the nested functions as well how they work. And so you should have, between these 3 videos now, enough information to start playing with it yourself. To find some different examples about when variables die, when you can access them, when you can't access them, and so on. But there's still a lot to learn about closures, all right? And there's still a lot to learn about it. So don't panic. We're going to be making a lot more videos about this as well. With that said, I hope that you've learned something in this one video. Hope you've got something out of it. I hope that you are understanding functions, nested functions, closures, capturing values, and function context and the scope of stuff. If you haven't, then just rewatch the videos, and then don't worry, like I said, watch the up and coming videos as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, do all of the other social media stuff as well. And please, if you do have any questions, comments, concern, feedback, let's start a conversation in the comment section down below. As always, I will answer all of your questions, or I will respond to all of your comments, because I enjoy listening to your comments as well, and it's very fulfilling. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for supporting these one videos. It makes me very, very happy. And ultimately, I'm doing these videos for you to make you a better Swift programmer, and hopefully in the future find you a job you find yourself a job as a Swift developer because you've listened to my videos. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.